Hello and welcome to a brew along day with Four Chats Brewery. To start off, what I've done so far is I've filled the water up to the recipe mash volume. I've also filled the mash kettle up for the sparge. I'll be turning that on soon so it's ready for when we do come to sparge. The only additives to the water are a 1/4 teaspoon of this. Only a 1/4 teaspoon, you don't need much. Okay, so got all the ingredients all measured out in the bucket. Always make sure I put the bucket with the oat holes in first to hopefully stop yourself getting a stuck sparge, because there's nothing worse because it can take ages. Okay, just waiting for it to heat up. Once it's heated up, I'll be back. The first thing I need to set on the Grainfather to get it up to our mash temperature is I need to set my button down there to normal and then my button up top to mash, and then that'll bring it up to the 66 degrees I want for this recipe. Ready in, it's up to temperature. Okay, I've got a strange paddle thing of doing it with. It just saves all the malt going up the sides. There's definitely easier ways of doing it. This is the way I do it. Mix that in. Just doing stages, you can probably do half a bucket at a time if you wanted to. You just got to make sure you stir it round so there's no lumps. Just because it's quite a big grain bill, the water's quite high in this one. I find jabbing down into it works a bit better as well. A very full one this, so be careful. Try and mix it in without coming over the sides. Probably would have been easy if I didn't do it on the 6.7% beer. Yep. That's all mashed in now. I'll be back on the next stage. Back for the next stage. So what we want to do is pull the top out. We don't need that. It's literally it can't go much higher than it already is, so we're pretty at the max there. So I'm just putting the rubber on. This one goes in a lot easier than the bottom one. There's plenty of stuff all around the sides. Try and take that down with us. Don't want to push down too hard because we don't want to compact it. So we've got this little mesh. Keep all the crap out. Put that on first. Then this part, don't know what this bit's called, but goes in on top, in the gap. Then we're going to get our tap on. And then we need it down to our temperature. And then we're just going to simply, make sure, don't forget about this, make sure you turn the bottom switch from normal to mash. Because otherwise the temperature will keep fluctuating quite a lot. Okay, so we'll get the pump on. And then I'll see you again at the next stage. Okay, so we've turned the pump off here, and now we're going to start. I'll just take a few of the main bits off for now. Because we don't want them getting in the way. I'll go into place. Get the handle. And then we're going to just lift this up, hopefully. It's not too heavy. There we go. Yep, we'll come back in a minute. Okay, so I've got our water draining through now. We're up here. So what I want to do is push this top mesh, just push it down a little bit, just so it's resting on top. And then what I'm going to do, with my hot water over there, I've got this, a little black mark, with my 2 litres. And then a piece of paper that I mark off every time I put a jug in of 2 litres, so I don't lose count. And then, yeah. Oh, and also while I'm doing this, I've set the Grainfather to boil. And also on the bottom switch, I've set that to normal again, so that it can boil up while I'm sparging, because most of the time it takes a lot longer to boil than it will for you to sparge. So you might even have time to clean this grain basket while it's still getting to boil after. Okay, that's it for now. Also, the reason I pushed that mesh down is so you can see how much water's sitting on top of these sparges. You don't want too much water, so put weight down onto the grain and you could end up with a stuck sparge, and then your day's going to get a lot longer. Okay, so now I've just took the mash tun down, put it in a bucket just so water doesn't go everywhere. Before I empty it, I'm going to take this off, and also you want to take this bit off, because otherwise it will end up in your bin liner. Okay, it's coming up to boil now, so we're going to make sure that we don't get a big head of foam, because it can easily overflow. So you want to just, some people spray Chemsan in a bottle. I'll just use this, just keep waving it down a bit. And once it's on the boil, it'll slowly go away. And don't forget before the boil to have your first additions ready to drop in. So as soon as it beeps, you can get that first addition in. There it is. And now to turn the beep off, you press the green set button. And let me just check our first addition in. That's it for now. Okay, the final hop addition, the big one. And now I'm going to go straight away and turn it off the boil. It's going to start cooling down now. I'm going to stick the lid on. Might give it a stir actually. Okay, and now we're going to get our chiller. Okay. Going to connect this end on here. Make sure it's located properly before tightening. Then we got our hot and cold. Well, our cold coming in and then our hot coming out. So I normally have my hoses ready, so I can just connect them up. Takes the faff out. So then, because I'm doing a hop stand this time, I need to put my temperature down to 78. So I'm going to go ahead and do that first. Okay, back again. So now I've got pressure fermenter here. It'd be the same if I had a tub here. Still going to transfer the same way. I finished my hop stand, but didn't really need to do that. So I've put my chiller back on the top. It's all connected up again. All we need to do. This time I've got my temperature probe on. So I need to get the thermometer from the Grainfather, attach it in the hole there, so I know what temperature it's going to be, and then try and find a balance point. kind of looks like it's going to balance there, that might work. I need to try and take a sample first from a hydrometer as well. So we're just going to put the pump on. There we go. And we're transferring. Just like that. So we've got our little sample that I can get my reading off. And now the rest is going in nice and high, so it's creating lots of oxygen so the yeast can get started a bit better. So yeah, that's it really. Once it's full, so put the lid on, put your yeast in, put the lid on, put it in the fridge.